And we are live, hopefully live now on YouTube. Just checking, making sure. Yes. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in your now moment. Welcome. I'm Theresa from Tree Heart Art Design Authentic, or Love Authentic Me, of YouTube and Facebook pages of the same name, or Theresa on his IGTV. So thank you for joining me. This week, I was thinking about what we're going to do, as I tend to intuit what we do each week is different. And we've worked with some Qigong movements, some energy stuff in the last couple of weeks. And today I was thinking and trying to take the pulse on how I was feeling and what you might need and what I might need for this week. Well, we're October and we've got that beautiful Libra energy of recalibrating, rebalancing, resetting. So I set the challenge for those on my page and those that follow me to hashtag soul recalibration. So what's showing up for us? And I realised what's showing up for me is the body, the physical, and allowing myself to open up. This has come up in a couple of things through conversations, through things I've seen people, other conversations with watching, but definitely this sense of we're really kind of going over stuff that we've learned. So last month's challenge was set point. Where are you vibrating? What are you putting out? So therefore what we're getting back, and paying attention to that. So in today's meditation, I'd like us to kind of allow for that to. There's these themes that are coming up with vulnerability was a word that popped up in a live I watched with Laurie Ladd and Card CB. And I thought, oh, that's beautifully put, guys. Love their lives. Check them out. I love them. And I've been definitely feeling this sense of really having to, I said it to my friends this morning, it's like Louise L. Hay used to say, if you've got a pan for the turkey for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, if you're American English, you really sometimes you have to soak it. You have to kind of soak and give it a good scrub to get down and clean that pan. You've kind of got to, when those stories and the narratives in your life and those patterns that we're recalibrating this month are showing up, how are they showing up? Why are they showing up? And we're questioning that. We've done loads of work this last year over this, and I'm sure you too in your own life this is coming up. So what things are we aware of that we want to shift and bring back into calibration, bring back into balance? So sometimes we have to put ourselves in a place of surrender, in a place of vulnerability. It's why this word I think is perfect for this, to open and to surrender to that reset, to recalibrate. We kind of have to surrender ourselves and put ourselves in a kind of vulnerable situation, because you're opening your arms, you're feeling, when you're moving out of that fight or flight, you're moving away from that holding within. And sometimes, and I remember this lesson when I was 16, talking to my life model, who Karen Honeybun, I think her name was, amazing lady, and we were talking about this stuff at college, at art college, and she was saying we hold on to our pain, and I thought, that's crazy. Why would people hold on to their pain? And then I realised, actually, and over the years I've definitely seen this with people and in myself, that we do hold on to our pain because it's familiar. Better the devil we know is that expression. So in order to let go, when you've kind of done a lots of the superficial releasing, for want of better words, and we're going down and we're scrubbing that pound and we're soaking up in that, and I feel like lots of people are opening up, and they were talking about this in their live, and I definitely, for one, am experiencing this. I know lots of people keep saying, I've got headaches at the moment, Theresa, I'm feeling like really like, when a storm's coming kind of headache. And that sense of this energy here, there's all this information, there's all of this new frequency, new vibration, new way of being that we can open up to. But some of us are unsure, we're a little bit tentative. It's like there's this sheet of ice and we're scared if we walk out on that ice we're going to go through the ice. But in some regards, we have to kind of allow that. We need to be aware of that and get comfortable. They were saying, get comfortable with the uncertainty. And in the readings I've been doing recently, in my pack, there's a picture of an owl that comes up, which is uncertainties and unsureties. And to me, that's the whole of 2020 represented that unknowing where things are going. And we kind of, if we haven't already, we've started to kind of, we want to see that clear path. But in order to see that, you have to see where you are to begin with. Allow that to almost step out onto the ice and trust that actually it's not going to break. And how do you do that? You do that in the now moment. So I want to show you how I do that with our meditation today. How you can just take yourself home to your creator self, as I call it, back to you, your most authentic you. So breath work simply to start with, and as you get to connect, you need to start to trust what is coming to you, be it images, be it feelings. We are all naturally intuitive, and at the moment this is kind of waking up, trusting our gut, trusting our instincts. When we meet that person, knowing that I have something to learn from this experience, rather than running away from it and fearing it, or what do I need to know? Asking those questions. You might have already been doing that. So how do you put that into practice? And how do you connect with that when you're in that moment of overwhelmment and fight or flight? Well, I suggest tapping and some of the other processes we've done in Meditation Monday. If you go through the playlist, there's lots of ways and creative visualization. But today, let's start simply as possible with the breath. Just in this now moment, being aware of what you are feeling. So I love to start my meditations by coming into the totality of our senses. So get into a comfortable position and don't worry about what you're feeling. And if you're feeling offish, because we're all going through maybe some of the things that you've used in the past are not working. So even when you sit down to meditate, maybe you can't quite get to that place that you've done before. This is where you have to go further. You have to trust and open and surrender. So in a sense, to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And if you feel like you need to cry, then cry. Don't feel like you've got to be in a high vibe place. Allow what emotions, because emotions are energy, emotion, to move, to shift. And to shift those, you need to allow those. You need to feel it to heal it. So all these wonderful expressions of like cliched expressions, but they're true. Or my truth to that is still a perception, but they help. So close your eyes if it's safe for you to do so. Get into a comfortable position. If you want to lay down, lay down. It doesn't matter so much. You align more when you're laying, you're aligning with the earth's field. When you're sitting, you're able to more clearly draw down the cosmic energy and earth in combination. That's the difference. So whatever's comfortable for you. Hands, just place them on your knees. I want you to be aware of your body and just sit and start to become aware of your breath. So in the next quarter of an hour, we're just going to tune in and just see where you are. And where you are, it doesn't matter. Just observe your thoughts, your feelings, the feeling in your body, emotionally how you're feeling. Start to just breathe in and out. And as you're breathing in and out, just become aware of that rhythmic movement of the breath, breathing in through the nostrils. And as you breathe in, your chest fills up, you feel the movement of your chest. And as you're breathing out, stomach rising and falling. If you want to take in more oxygen, that's fine. And you want to slightly start to control your breath, that's fine. If not, just observing your natural breath. Now, are you feeling, and ask yourself this, So firstly, we're starting off in the mind before we let go. We need to allow ourselves to know that it's safe to do so. You are safe. Right? I've got you. In this now moment, we're here, we're creating an energy container between me, you, and those that are viewing, focusing in our now moment. The movement of our body, shifting, the rising, falling, just those subtle movement of the body, becoming aware of that. And then any other things around you, any sounds. What sounds can you hear? It doesn't have to be dead quiet. You can obviously hear my voice. Hopefully you can hear me clearly enough. But what other can you hear? Your breath. Can you hear any noise, any traffic in the distance? Any noises from wherever you are, maybe the computer monitor or the phone that you're viewing on. Becoming aware of anyone in the vicinity. So if you are in a house, for example, anyone else in your household, any pets, any people, any children, if you're in an office, if you've got your headphones on, if you're on a train, a busy commuter train even, those around you, you can meditate and do this anywhere as long as it's safe for you to have your eyes closed. And if you haven't, focus in even if you can't close your eyes and you're just tuning in to the sense of this and the sense of your surroundings. What can you see? What are you viewing? I find it easier to close my eyes to sense the energy. And I want you to sense your energy. By that I mean your emotions, the movement. Are you feeling still? Do you feel a sense of quiet within you? Or is it loud? Is it noisy? Are your thoughts running away, popping up? And don't worry if they are, just be aware. Because our thoughts don't actually come from here, they come from externally. We pick up on them, depending on where we are in our resonance. And that's what we're trying to tune into, to know where we are right now in this moment, but also what we're feeling, what we're sensing, and learning to sit with that regardless of what it is you are feeling. If you're feeling elation, you're feeling joy, and you're feeling gratitude, then wonderful, just marinate in it. But also, if you're feeling stress and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling sadness, then actually, I'm going to tell you something that normally I wouldn't say. Allow yourself for a second just to feel that. Think of it as like you're floating in water. It's like a marinade. And be aware of what that is. By being aware of what that is, you then have the power to choose. It may not feel like that sometimes. As remember I said about that sense of vulnerability, that sense of surrender, and surrendering means, and that allowing means we need to acknowledge. Sometimes we don't want to acknowledge what we're feeling because we feel vulnerable. Whatever those thoughts might be. But when we tune into our intuition picks up on what we are resonating at. Because in making a choice in this now moment, if you're resonating at a lower frequency, the experiences that you are going to tune into aren't necessarily ones that your higher self would want for you. However, they will show you where you're resonating if you can't feel it. So just being aware, just feeling, just breathing and allowing that breath will help us to see with more clarity, to open. So you can sense what the sounds and anyone else around you, because when we walk into a field of someone else that we have, it goes out about a metre around you, your toric field, we refer to it as. your own magnetic, I can't even say tongue-tied, Mercury is to be for me. I've got that belief that I'm tongue-tied during retrograde. It's so it happens. What I was trying to say is that we walk into that, we've got awareness of those, a sense of other people and what they're feeling. So what you need to know is it your frequency, or are you tuning to someone else around you? Are you tuning to the collective fears? Are you tuning to maybe a personal friend or loved one and their fears? Is that affecting you? Or is it the reverse? Are you affecting them? Now, I want you to place your hands over your heart and see if you can feel your heartbeat. If you can't, then take 2 fingers and just come down from your ear into your neck and do either side. And just come down until you can feel your heartbeat. And just for the next few moments, I just want you to feel and listen. Tune in to that beat of your heart. You might have to move your finger around. That heartbeat is the life pulsing through you. Think of it like a rhythm. Is it in a fear mode? Is it slow, steady? Whatever it is, just observing it. Move into what they call a heart math, some heart coherence. So with your breath, with that awareness of that pulse of your heart, we're going to say conjure up, we're going to allow ourselves to reset, to get coherent, allowing the heart, which speaks to the mind, first by breathing in for a count of 4 and out, in, out. And when you're breathing out, actually blowing out, that breathing in, that sound is very reminiscent of a gentle wave hitting and waving, washing into the shore and out. Give yourself and your monkey mind that image of the waves on the surf, in and out. And as you're doing this, have a separate image that maybe you can interwoven of your heart pulsing like a drum. And the waves and a drum. We're going to move into a little bit of image therapy and creative visualization. I want you to imagine a scene of a beach. And a beautiful American Indian guy dressed, and he's got some drums and he's drumming. You can hear the sound of your breath, the waves anchoring you in this moment, and that drum beat like a metrodrome going back, tick tock, tick tock. And that's the process of us moving through this now moment, through the time, like that beach, like the sands of time, metaphorically. And the drum, think of him as like Father Time, if you like. Rebalancing back, forth like scales, balancing. And as you're standing on that beach, looking out to shores, just view the waves going in and out. Wherever you are, bring your focus and your imagination to this moment. And think of this as your unconscious, like a holding state to go wherever you need to go. We step up to the shoreline, like we're stepping with our mind, with our breath. Holding. Do you feel like you are reluctant, safe? Wherever you are, you need to evaluate. To recalibrate, you need to be aware of where you are. And if you are here and you feel like this is as far as you can go, this is where you need to go. To just observe, to connect, to view. But if you're ready and you want to go deeper, if you don't, then just stay there with that image. If not, then you listen and follow me on a little journey. I want you to step into the water. Don't worry about if you're clothed or not. Step into the water. That water represents the subconscious. And how does the water feel? Is it feeling more choppy, with hesitancy? Does it feel like an inviting, beautiful, tropical beach that you just want to envelop yourself in, the sun? Water, we've got this Piscean energy that's ruler of Libran energy that we're in astrologically. Pisces, that water, enveloping ourselves in water, even religiously, symbolically, is that cleansing, that clearing. Water holds information, and we are water. We are information. So imagine yourself, like if you want to be in a warm bath, you can. But on that beach, just going in to the water, stepping tentatively, just getting into the water. As far as you feel comfortable. Now, I was always scared of the water when I was a kid. I'd have to hold my nose to just duck down under. And the key was mind over matter, people would say. Once you'd done it, you're fine. But when you're in the water, when you're under the water, everything feels and hear, the sounds slightly distorted, they're slightly different. We're not used to hearing it in a different sense. If you feel comfortable, I want you to imagine yourself, even if it's just a quick dip under the water like I would have done as a kid, and then straight back out. Or as you might do in the bath, just slowly lowering it and feeling the water as it goes up over your ears, and sound is slightly different. And the fear for me then was I couldn't breathe. So I want you to imagine you've got a bubble around you, an endless supply of air. But you're going under the water, anchored by the sound of my voice. Remembering you can just step out any time, back onto the beach, hearing that time, that metronome, the drum, that friendly figure there guiding you. guiding me. If you want, see a thread that holds you like a big long rope that's anchored safely in the beach, bringing you back your attachment to the now moment. Going in with the bubble, that sense of floating, that sense of not it's uncertainty, it's this big expansive sense of the subconscious. The subconscious where we all connect to. No, you can just go back to the unconscious at any time. You need anchoring. Just want you to lay back in the water. Imagine you're floating. And in the water itself, even if you're laying in a bath, if you feel more comfortable, you're just seeing yourself surrounded, enveloped, womb-like feeling. And remember, you're anchored through your body. Your body is 3D, your body is physical, your body itself is an anchor. Allow yourself to float, to marinate in what you need to understand. Just surrender. We don't drown because we fall in the water, we drown because we panic if someone drowns. If you just lay back, the air in our body lets us float. Remember, we've got a bubble around us. Just breathe that endless supply. Just floating, drifting. Allowing. Now, those of you that might have been experiencing this head, I want you to take your hands up and put one hand, so you've got the thumb over either side of the temple if you need to open your eyes to see. And for those of you familiar with Donna Eden, this is very similar to the crown pull. We want to do that, and do the crown pull, just as if you're opening your third eye, but just gently massaging. So your fingertips and your forehead coming to the side of your eyes and then back again, just gently massaging. And I want you to imagine that third eye chakra energy just opening with that massage, just clearing, like there's a fog around what you need to know, to seeing your patterns. With every fingertip, and we're doing this with the body because we want the body to remember. Maybe gently tapping to calm the sympathetic nervous system and the meridians, and just all these pulse points, just all around the forehead, and then on the temples, side of the eyebrow and down, just between the two EFT points. And then bringing circular motion around the eyes, coming down from the eyes, down the sides of your chin to the middle and back up around the eyes. A bit like last week's energetic facial, but what we're going to do now, you're going to put your hands together in prayer position and drop 3 fingers, so you've just got 2 fingers pointing up. And then you're going to point those down, reminding you you've got root. And just sit there for a moment and breathe, making a mental note of what you're feeling and anything that's coming up. And your soul and your mind marinating, floating, whilst the body is anchored here. Be aware of the subtle differences of both, the awareness of the physical the awareness of the mental. And we're just going to stay and leave ourselves in that moment. Just think of something you're grateful for if you can. Be grateful for this moment, this awareness. But if you can't, you just sit and listen to the breath, hearing the waves as you're floating. You're not far from the shore. You're there, you're anchored. Just sensing tentatively whatever you need to become aware of. And taking a deep breath in. I want you to walk out of the water, back to the beach, back to the subconscious. Maybe you're dripping wet as the water. I want you to remember a sense of that being refreshed, and attach that to the sense of the vulnerability. Actually, remembering that we've always got that called. It's within, to our own unconscious mind. Standing on the beach, feeling the heartbeat again. If you want to put your hands back on your heart, or literally feel for the heartbeat, you can. We didn't go too deep. We just took you to an awareness. So what came up for you? What are you feeling? How are you feeling now? Are you remembering? If you're not, I want you to do this with me. Just a little bit of reminding about the self. We tap on the thymus. Feel that like Tarzan thymus, as Donna Eden says. To tune into that heartbeat and that drumming. But that guy still got that image. I'm reminding you, this is helping your immune system as well. We're working with all of the endocrine and the parasympathetic nervous system. Everything's connected. Tap in that rhythm. What are our rhythms? What are our patterns? I know I am safe in this now moment. It's okay to feel what I'm feeling. Use some Tarzan, maybe. It's the thumps, from the tapping to the thumps. Feel your own power. Over the heart. Trust in that power. Surrender to that power, that core that runs through you. Just as the water is in your cells, you can tap into the information within it. It's the blood and the iron in your blood creates that field. You can tap into that. And just still. As if the drums have just stopped. And you're just feeling the heartbeat in your thymus. Breathing. Slowly coming back into the room, so to speak. Feel or imagination of the sand on the beach. The image of the waves connecting back with your breath. If you need to bring your eyes to the light quietly, bring your hands above and open the eyes behind your hands. And slowly bringing the hands down as you allow the light to filter through. Stay there for a moment. Become aware of your sight and what's around you in your room, where you are in this now moment. Does anything feel off? You hear sounds. I can hear my partner's phone ringing in the background. I can hear the trees outside. Slowly come back and acclimatise to what's around you. And breathe into that. Your body, putting your hands down on your knees. Feel your knees. Feel the body. Anchor yourself back. Deep breath in. And I want you to just to awaken it. So if you went deep like me, just clap. Rubbing the hands together and clap. Waking up a little bit of more energy. And if you went deep with me or not, and whether you do or not, please drink lots of water after this session. Flush through, make notes. If you felt any emotion coming up and you felt anything that made you feel vulnerable, make a note, write it down, maybe take some time to journal on it. Any images that flow to you, any feelings, was there any frustration, any anger, whatever was showing up. Were you feeling euphoric? Were you having beautiful imagery flowing to you and feeling relaxed? Fine, make a note. Make a note that you can go there whenever you want. You can watch this video again whenever you need to just reset. A little half an hour retreat just for you. So my love and my blessings. Thank you. I will be going live again later this afternoon for our in-depth talk about October energy and our challenge of recalibrating. But please feel free, I'll refer back to this, for you to do this, to connect, to see what's showing up for you. And each time, if you couldn't go further, if you're on the beach, if you want to go further, allow yourself to, you feel safe in your time, all in divine timing, till you can see that core, that strength, that Tarzan energy, the Thymus. And even if it's just in the breath. Thank you. I'm Theresa Jande. Please like and share, subscribe, all those wonderful things so that more people can recalibrate their soul and what they need for their moment, whatever self-care you need, hopefully. And I will see you again next Monday. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening moment if you're down under, or have a wonderful day or lunch. Feed the soul for your lunch time. Hopefully I've